As more and more automakers start to take electric vehicles seriously, we're starting to see more and more mainstream brands plan and promise electric models in the next few years. Some of those brands, like General Motors, Ford and Volkswagen, are large mainstream brands that produce hundreds of thousands of vehicles a year. Others are premium brands with more modest production goals, but just as important a part to play in the switch from gasoline and diesel to electric. Porsche, of course, fits in the latter group, making and selling a couple of thousand cars more per year than automakers like Ford churn out in an entire month. For the last few years, it's been busy preparing its first electric car, the 2020 Porsche Taycan, for market launch. Despite being known for its sports cars, however, something that probably helps explain why its first electric car is a sports sedan, Porsche's best-selling cars by far for the last few years have been SUVs, namely its Porsche Macan. Last year, it sold 86,031 examples of its mid-size crossover, helping it break its own personal sales record. As a consequence, we've heard plenty of rumours over the years that an electric Porsche Macan was on the way. And now it seems that those rumours were true, since Porsche's CEO had said last year that he wanted every second car it sold to be electrified by 2025. Remember, electrified can mean anything from a mild hybrid system through to a fully battery electric or hydrogen electric drivetrain. It makes sense that Porsche is looking to electrify its most popular car to date. It's not clear if Porsche will be completely ditching the internal combustion engine for this next generation Macan, but I guess for a while an electric version would exist alongside a hybrid and a plug-in hybrid variant, as well as an electric version. And since the first generation Porsche Macan is now getting a little older now, it makes total sense that an electric version would be based on a second generation Macan platform. But what can we expect from this new model, which sources say will hit the market by 2022, which coincidentally ties in with the right time for a model refresh? And what kind of effect will this new electric Porsche Macan have on the automotive market? First, let's deal with the obvious. The Macan, like the rest of the Porsche family, is a performance-oriented vehicle. The highest spec variant of the Macan available today puts out 434 brake horsepower, which is comparable to about 325 or so kilowatts. An electric Macan would have to match that, but since the Porsche Taycan is expected to produce at least 450 kilowatts of all-wheel drive power, I'm going to be pretty confident and predict that we'll see at least that in an electric Macan. It's also worth noting too that the current Macan is built on the same platform as the Audi Q5 SUV. Since Audi already has an all-electric platform in the production form, the Audi e-tron, which actually isn't too far off the Macan in terms of size, it's conceivable that Porsche could build an electric version of the next-gen Porsche Macan based on the e-tron platform. The only catch, of course, is that the e-tron is a little lower than a standard crossover and it also only has 300 kilowatts of power. But those are things which it wouldn't be too difficult to fix. Being a Porsche, it's given that an electric Macan would feature the same CCS quick charging capability as the Taycan, connecting to current generation CCS quick charging stations, but also to next generation 800-volt charging stations capable of adding 60 miles of range in just a few minutes. Given that Porsche is a premium brand, continuing that charging expectation across all Porsche models, as well as the integrated charging plans Porsche is talking about for the Taycan, seems to be the most likely thing. I'd be surprised if it wasn't the case. So what about range? Using current technology, somewhere between 200 and 300 miles of range per charge seems like a good bet. Although for the Porsche Macan to cross-shop against cars like the Tesla Model X, which, yes, is slightly larger, and the yet-to-be-revealed Tesla Model Y, which I predict will cross-shop pretty well against the Macan, Porsche is going to have to offer at least Tesla-like range for some buyers to take notice. Which brings us to the final thing, price. Given that the current Macan starts from just under $48,000 and then goes all the way up to $90,000 and beyond, there's plenty of room for Porsche to find a higher-end price point for an all-electric Macan, especially if it matches the range-topping Macan Turbo in terms of performance. But those are enough of my predictions. What do you expect from an all-electric Macan? What would you need to see in order to order one? And how do you think it will play a part in Porsche's future lineup? Let me know in the comments below. Well, that's it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.